Hey guys, welcome to math class. Alright, as you can see today, we have finished talking about money and we're going to start talking about telling time. And now, just like money, this is a really important skill because you're going to need to know how to tell time for your entire life. Time is so important. For example, if your boss tells you to be there at 8:30, you have to know what time that is. If your mom tells you only have 30 minutes and then you got to come do your homework or you're grounded, you got to know how long 30 minutes is or you're not going to know. So time could be something that would cause you a lot of trouble if you do not know how to read a clock. So that is what we're going to work on. We're going to learn how to read clocks. Now there are two different kinds of clocks. There's this kind of clock that's called an analog clock. That's the one that's usually round and has the numbers that go around it and has those hands. And then there's something called a digital clock. Digital clocks are very easy to read. You've probably seen digital clocks on your stove or your microwave, an alarm clock, even cell phones will usually have a digital clock. Your computer, the laptop that you're using, has a digital clock down in the corner that tells you the time. So digital clocks are not the problem. They're really easy to read. What we really need to work on is an analog clock because you're not always going to have a digital clock for you to look at and read. So you are going to have to know how to read analog clocks too. Alright, so let's talk about these analog clocks. They are made of parts, of course. The big round part, because most clocks are round, is called its face. So this is the clock face. And of course they have hands. Every clock is going to have two hands. Sometimes they have three, but they're always going to have two. They don't always have that third hand. Alright, so the first hand that we're going to talk about is the short hand, because if you look at a clock, you're going to notice that one hand is short and one hand is long. Well, the shorter hand is called the hour hand, and whatever number it's pointing at is the hour. So like, what would this hour be that it's pointed to? Yeah, it's pointed near the 2, so it would probably be 2 o'clock. Alright, and then that longer hand is the minute hand. It's going to tell you what the minutes are. And you can see that it's pointed at the 11, but that's not exactly what the minutes are. We're going to talk about that in a second if you don't already know about minutes. Alright, so there are the two hands on a clock, and you can see that this one is shorter. It doesn't even touch the numbers. This one's longer. It does touch the numbers. So sometimes you have to look real careful to tell which one's the long hand and which one's the short hand. Remember, the short hand is what's telling us the hour. That's the one you need to read first. And then the minute hand is what you would read next. I always give my kids a little story to remember to always read the little hand first. It's like if you were in the hallway and there was a little preschool class coming down the hallway, would you be nice and wait on them, or would you try to go run and get in front of those preschool kids? Yeah, you'd let those little preschool kids go first because they're smaller. They're littler than you. So just like on a clock, we always read the little hand first. It's just nice. So the little hand is the hour, and we always look at it first. Alright, so we know clocks have faces, clocks have hands. We know the little hand is the hour, and the longer hand is the minute. So this one's going to point to what the hour is, and this one will point to what the minute is. Alright, so when we are telling time to the hour, we always, of course, are going to look at the small hand first, just like my story. Small hand's always what we say first, and then we can look at the minute. When it's pointed at the 12, see how the little hand, we look at it first. It's on the 2. And if the big minute hand is on the 12, that's when we say o'clock. So this would be 2 o'clock. Just plain old 2 o'clock. Anytime it's on the 12 like that, the minute hand's on the 12. That's when we say o'clock. So 2 o'clock. Well, what time would this one be then? Yeah, this one's going to be, remember the little hand first, it's at the 10, 10 o'clock. When it's on the 12 like that, we say o'clock. So 10 o'clock. All right, which one of these would be showing 2 o'clock? Remember, the little hand's the hour. Look at it first. Is this hour hand pointed at the 2? No. Is this one? Yeah. So this is the one that shows 2 o'clock because they both are on the 12, which is o'clock. But the hour hand of this one's on the 2. So this one is 2 o'clock. That's how we know. All right, which one of these would be 7 o'clock? Because that's what 7 o'clock looks like. So you put the 2 little dots between the hour and the minute. So 7 o'clock. They both are on the clock, but is this one pointed at the 7? No, remember the small hand's the hour, and that's not at 7. This one is, so very good. The pink clock is the one that says 7 o'clock. Very good. All right, what about that time? What does it show? Good, that one's 10 o'clock again, because it's on the 10. The little hour hand we look at first is on the 10, and the 12 means o'clock, so 10 o'clock. All right, which one of these is 8 o'clock? Remember to find those little hour hands. Yeah, it's this one, isn't it? Yeah, because look, the hour hand's on the 8, and it says o'clock, so 8 o'clock. This one would be, what's this one? Yeah, 3 o'clock. And then this one would be, yeah, 1 o'clock. Very good. So 1 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 8 o'clock. You all are pretty good with the hours. That's kind of pretty easy, isn't it? All right, so let's talk about telling time to the half hour or the 30. If you'll look at this one, you always look at the hour hand first, and if you look real careful, you can tell this one is smaller than this one. So here's my hour hand, and it looks like it is, well, it's not right on the 1, is it? Do you notice that? How it's not completely on the 1 or the 2? Yeah. When it's like that, we have to think of what it's already touched. When it's between 2 numbers, it's already touched the 1 because it's already went past the 1, but has it touched the 2 yet? No. So if it hasn't touched the 2 yet, then it is still 1 o'clock. So anything from here to here is still going to be 1 o'clock until it touches that 2. So this one, even though it's not completely on the 1, we still say it is 1 o'clock. So we've got, well, it's 1 something. It's not 1 o'clock because it's not on the 12. When it's down here on the 6 like this, that's 30. Yep, so when it's up here, we say o'clock. When the minute hand is down here on the 6, we say 30. So this is 1:30. 1:30, not 1 o'clock anymore. 1:30 when it's on the 6. All right, so let's look at this one then and see if we can tell what time it is. Which hand do we look at first again? Yeah, we look at the little hand first. That's the hour. And look, and sometimes I even take like my finger and I follow it just like I am with my mouse here. Well, it's not really touching the 8. Look, it's not on the 8 and it's not on the 9 either. So what time is it? Good. Remember, it's still 8. Even though it's a little bit past the 8, it hasn't got to the 9 yet. So we still say it's 8 something. It's not 8 o'clock, is it? Because it's not up here. It's 8:30. Yeah, when the minute hand is on the 6, we say 30. So this one is 8:30. Very good. That's when usually our grammar will start. Our lessons sometimes start at 8:30. All right, what about this one? What time is it? Okay, remember to look at the hour hand first. Here's the hour hand. Oh, yeah, it looks like it's pretty close to, it's on the 5, isn't it? So 5, is it 5 o'clock? No, because we only say 5 o'clock if the minute hand is on the 12. It's 5:30. 5:30. Good. 5:30, because when it's on the 6 like that, we say 30. So 5:30. Good job. All right, so you all have done really, really good with this hour and the 30 minutes. You're going to have a couple of practice pages where you have to tell the time. Remember, when you're working today, that the hour hand is the small hand. And you're going to look if it's not right on a number. Remember, like, I'm going to go back to show you. When it's not, even if it's not completely on the 5, it's still 5 because it hasn't come over here and touched the 6 yet. So remember, if it's between two numbers, you always go to the smaller number. It hasn't touched it yet. So hour hand we look at first, and we see where it's at. And then if it's on the 12, we're going to say o'clock. And if it's on the 6, we're going to say 30. All right. If you have any trouble with math today, remember you can send me a chat, ask me to help, and I can work on the work with you. Or you can ask Mom and Dad. I know they're really good at telling time too. All right, guys. I'll see you later, and we will work on this some more tomorrow, telling time. Good luck today.